Welcome to The Advocate, a program that thrashes out all the topical issues of the day.
When you are in government, you don't see nothing wrong with whatever is happening. The moment you are out there, everything is wrong.
You can't even see many women now, and when they're there, they're not even really making a mark, and then they have an NYSC problem and this and that.
One of the reasons why we don't have more women in politics in Nigeria is for as long as political meetings continue to take place in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
It's disastrous for a president to be unaware of the chief
It's
justice.
a ploy. It could be a strategy.
That strategy was
Backfired.
terrible strategy. Because the buck stops at your table.
Whether it's that we don't look after our cities, and quite frankly, Nigeria is becoming a very ugly place.
When you are the only one feeding the people with this news and there is nobody countering them, it becomes, the news.
Welcome to The Advocate, the show where 5 topics merge with 5 differing opinions, leading to an action-packed hour. This week, Uche takes on the dangerous trend of trial by media. Chuka takes refuge in the burgeoning Nigerian music industry. Wait till you know what he's got. And if we ever thought Brexit was nothing to do with us over in Nigeria or Africa, Ekene is telling us to think again. While Liboris's advocacy is somewhat soft, is dedicated to the life and the fight against cancer. But first, me. Let me join my voice with the kids to tell the adults, time to stop gambling with our future. A couple of weeks ago, school children across the UK and other countries went on strike to protest against climate change. They were organised and clear with their demands. The protest, inspired by 15-year-old Swede Greta Thunberg, who skipped class to protest for the same cause outside the government buildings in her home country. That was September last year. As a result of Greta's protest, she was subsequently invited to the recent UN Climate Change Conference, where she gave a powerful and emotive speech calling out world leaders on their inaction and ineptitude to deal with what is actually a life-threatening issue. With the daily impact of climate change evident around the globe and also here in Nigeria, only a deliberate and malevolent truth denier like Donald Trump can ignore these facts. Anyway, so it got me thinking, what if school children in Nigeria took the same action, but this time to protest against the dilapidated education system that's been imposed on them? There's no parent in this country with kids in private or public school for that matter that doesn't bemoan or lament, or should I say nor lament, the state of the Nigerian education. From chairs and tables, to sanitation, to qualified teachers, to lack of basic reading material. The list goes on. So why have our children not taken the same bold, dramatic and empowering action to protest and demand their basic human right to good, quality education in a safe, clean and conducive environment? Is it because they lack motivation, energy and fearlessness? Is it because of our genuflecting culture that suppresses the initiative to challenge and question the status quo? Is it because the parents and teachers have beaten it out of them? Or is it simply because they have watched us, the parents, submit, capitulate, and conform to decades of bad leadership? I think it's time for the kids to demand from our leaders what us parents haven't been able to achieve. It's time to stop gambling with our future.
I made some notes while you were talking, and it's possible, actually, I think you said it already, which is, when you were looking at the reasons why our children or the younger generation haven't taken on the same mantle as their peers abroad. And I think it's really to do with role modeling, because you can't give what you don't have. I mean, they're seeing us, like you say, you call it genuflecting culture, which is quite, it struck me. They see us day after day. We don't stand up for our rights. We just take it and we move on to the next thing, and we accept it as, and they get the message that, there's no point. Essentially, that's really what we're saying to them. There's no point fighting for your rights. There's no point. System will always be there. This fatalistic outlook. The children imbibe it from very young. And so how do you expect someone to rise up like Greta if they haven't seen it modeled? So that, for me, is where it starts and where it ends, unfortunately, because until someone can show a child that your voice can make a difference, I really can't see how any Nigerian child will wake up out of the blues and just do what Greta did, skip school and say, I feel strongly enough about this, and I believe that if I take this action, it will result in something.
Yeah, and I also agree. I think we're in a country where protesting is really kind of frowned upon anyway. People tell you, why don't you be more ingenious about how you deal with problems? So rather than protest, why don't you find another way to, if they don't give you books, go and, beg somebody to donate books for you or something.
Well, you're seen as a troublemaker when you protest.
So you look for a different way to get around it. So the onus is put on you to solve your problem. Nobody is expecting any child to go out there and start protesting. And the sad thing is, I really believe that if these children go out there,
we would join them.
I hope we would join them. You see, what I was actually going to say is that, first of all, who are these children going to go out there? Aren't they the children of the poor? Because it's not the children of the rich that are going to go out there, because they don't have those problems. So it's the children of the poor. How are they going to go out there? They're not going to. They'll just tear gas them. That's my major concern.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't agree.
Yeah, because I think it depends on how you bring up the child. Poor or rich.
It will be fallacious for us to say we don't protest here. If you remember, Nigerians were known to protest.
That's why we're not encouraged to protest
University
anymore.
Protests, massive. The days of activism in Nigeria, died with the current crop of political leadership, where money is placed far and above every other thing. And so you find that what we are teaching children these days is
money will solve your problem.
Money will solve your problem. Once you can get it, you are okay. Don't bother about the problems of the society. Solve yours. And so you find that the leadership also, the father makes money, he sends the kids abroad where education is better. And so the kids are not here to also see the problems that their counterpart and then he comes back, the parents in some cases beg their way through for them. Please employ him, he will cope. You put him there, fix him there. And so he really does not understand that there's need for you to protest certain ills in the society because his parents have always been there for him. Unlike those days where whether you're a son of a rich father or a poor father, you attend the same government schools. And so if there are challenges, you come out to say, we cannot accept this. But it's no longer so.
I think really the problem with this country is that this country is a jungle. And until we admit it, we will never move forward. We don't like to admit when we are not doing things good enough for the world of 2019. So when we are running a jungle, liberals is talking about money, just putting money and whatever. Is that not animalistic behavior, really, when you think about it? It's just.
I don't think this is money. Yes, exactly.
So they will not take the money because they're trained.
It's the policing that restrains them. It's not because some don't.
No, I don't think so.
Some would.
I think
recently I read about the FBI. They bust the case wide open where celebrities are trying to get their children into Yale and Harvard by cheating the system.
It's not just Nigeria.
Just one or two.
We must stop thinking that Nigeria is the only one that suffers from this.
How many celebrities are there? That's why
it was a mass.
No, it wasn't just celebrities.
I think we should pull it back because what you're saying is, shouldn't the children start to protest? So let's talk about why the pros and cons of the children protesting.
No, I'm trying to defend against Nigeria being seen as a kind of special case.
Yeah, but
the only reason that
I think Ikene is right. But let me go back to what Uche was saying, and you're right. What I am saying is that the children, we need to encourage our children to stand up for what we, the parents, know is right? And I think it's not about whether you're in private education or you're in public education, because let it be known that those children in public education, they're also the same people that your child in private education are going to have to meet at some point in life. So it's up to us. And I understand what Liberos is saying when he says that the will to be an activist in Nigeria was beaten out from Babangida times when they used to think it was in Babangida. It wasn't even the ones
I was just going to say,
in Babangida times and everything. That culture, but however, no. But we also forget that we achieved it. We achieved it in Occupy Nigeria. And I will always say, allow me to say now. No, allow me. No, actually, you're wrong, and I would disagree with you. The first day of Occupy Nigeria, we didn't know what was going to happen. Remember, we didn't know whether the police were going to shoot, whether they were going to do anything.
I agree.
Some of us did go out on that first day,
Yes, I
and you
did.
did take your life, and I did that, and I said to people, I
But
did
we
that
didn't-
so my son, I did that so my son would see that activism for something that you believe in is
Alive and
correct, and that's to encourage them, because we do capitulate in this country. We really do. No, but it might not be across the country, but it was something that we did.
Sorry, Libras, you were saying something.
The poll tax riots was only in the UK, in London, right? Does that mean it didn't happen?
But you would have found that it happened big
No, it
time
didn't.
on other, what I mean on other
Okay.
platforms.
No.
We don't have enough platforms.
We do. We have ourselves.
200 million people.
We have
You have
ourselves.
to start from
Oh,
somewhere.
you lot
have
are
to
just
start
going to
from
go
somewhere.
on and on.
Yes. It all started off pretty big. Anyway, so much to say on that one, and we're only just getting started. Uche does a face-off with the courts of public opinion after the break. Join us.